everyone. Today, I will be discussing two of the most widely used strategic decision-making tools in educational management under the quantitative and qualitative tools. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vanna G. De La Rosa, an EDD student at Caraga State University. We have observed nowadays every educational institution faces challenges that requires informed and evidence-based decisions. The school leaders need a systematic tools to assess both the internal capabilities and its external environment. At the end of this presentation, we should be able to first define the SWOT analysis and the PESOS analysis. We need also to differentiate the internal and external environment scanning and apply both tools in educational setting, and lastly is to understand how they support the evidence-based strategic decision making. Now, all these objectives will help us appreciate why these frameworks are important, particularly for the educational leaders, the school heads, and also to the administrators. Let's first understand their primary differences. Both SWOT analysis and PESOS analysis are strategic tools, but they serve a different purposes. Now, SWOT examines both the internal and external environment of an organization. It identifies what the organization does well, where improvements are needed, and what external factors may help or hinder success. Now, in contrast, this PESOS analysis focuses only on the external environment. Now, and it examines a broader environmental factors that the school cannot directly control, but they must respond to. So, examples, we have the government policies, the economic conditions, the technological development, and also the environmental issues. Now, when these two analyses are used together, they provide a complete picture for a strategic planning. Now, SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. According to Rosmi and colleagues 2018 and Wu 2020, SWOT has become one of the most fundamental strategic planning tools because it enables organizations to evaluate both their internal capabilities and also their external environment before making important decisions. Now, the four components are divided into two categories. Now, the strengths and weaknesses are internal factors, while the opportunities and threats are the external factors. Now, understanding this distinction is essential. Why? Because organizations have greater control over internal factors than the external ones. So let's define each. Now, strength, this refers to the internal characteristics that help an organization achieve its objectives. Now, these are the resources, the capabilities, or the advantages that provides a competitive edge. While weaknesses, also an internal factor, but represent limitations or deficiencies that reduce organizational effectiveness. Now, moving to the external environment, the opportunities are favorable conditions outside the organization that can support innovation or improvement. Now, examples are new government programs, the partnerships, or the new emerging technologies. And finally, for the threats, these are the external challenges or the risks that may prevent an organization from achieving its goal. Now, examples are we have policy changes, the economic problems, the competitions, or the natural disasters. Now, let's contextualize SWOT within the schools or the institution. For strength, the examples we have the qualified teachers, strong school leadership, positive school culture, high learner achievement, the adequate facilities, and the active community partnership. For the weaknesses, the schools may experience such as the budget constraints, the teachers' shortages, limited instructional materials, overcrowded classrooms, or weak communication systems. And examples of opportunities, we have the deep ed initiatives, the government grants, the industry partnership, the scholarship programs, and also the advances in new or in educational technologies. While threats include declining enrollment, policy changes, economic challenges affecting the learners, the natural disasters, and also the public health emergencies. And another, we have the increasing competition from the neighboring schools. Conducting a SWOT analysis follows a systematic process. First is to gather relevant data or information from reliable sources. We can collect information from a school performance report, the stakeholders' feedback, and the enrollment data. Second is to identify the school's strengths and weaknesses. Third is to analyze the school's opportunities and threats by examining the educational policies, the demographic trends, and also the community conditions. Fourth is to develop or organize a SWOT matrix. And then finally is to formulate strategic actions that capitalize on strength, that will address weaknesses, maximize opportunities, and also minimize threats. Now, all this process or steps will help transform data into practical decisions that will improve school performance. So let's apply SWOT using a practical example. So we have here a scenario. Now let's imagine a public senior high school implementing the TVL track. So specifically the SMAU and the electrical installation and maintenance. The enrollment has increased. It indicates growing student interest. However, the school has experienced limited equipment, insufficient workshop space, and few industry partners. So let's look at how can we apply this SWOT analysis. Now let's identify the school strength. So first, it includes certified teachers. Second, those qualifications are at TESDA accredited assessment center. Third, there is a strong administrative support and a graduate with high employability. For its weaknesses, it involves limited laboratory equipment, inadequate budget, and also insufficient workshop facilities. For the opportunities, it includes an increasing demand for skilled workers, government funding, thus to support programs, and partnership with industries. Now, the threats here includes competitions from private schools. Then there is a rapid technological advancement, procurement delays, and a possible declines in enrollment. Now, based on this analysis, the school heads may decide by what? How can you decide? So first, by strengthening partnerships with the local industries, the school or the school head also can seek additional government funding and prioritize upgrading laboratories or facilities. All right, now let's move to the PESOS analysis. Unlike SWOT, PESOS focuses entirely on the external environment. So according to Bush 2020, educational leaders use the PESOS analysis to systematically examine external factors that influence the school performance and its long-term development. PESOS stands for political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factor. Now, these factors are forces that the school cannot directly control but must continuously monitor. Now let's discuss each factors. For political factors, this includes the government policies, the DepEd reforms, the educational budgets, the changes in curriculum, and also the leadership priorities. For economic factor, this includes the inflation, the school fundings, the school operational costs, the employment opportunities, and the community income levels. For the social, these factors include the population growth, the learner's diversity, the parental environment or involvement, community expectations, and also the student health and well-being. And also, we have here the recent digital literacy. For the technological factors, this refers to digital learning platforms such as the learning management systems, the artificial intelligence in education. We have also the online and blended learning, the digital classrooms, the internet connectivity, and we have the recent simulation technologies for TVL programs. For legal factors, which includes the compliance with the DepEd orders, the TESDA regulations, the Child Protection Policy, we have also Data Privacy Act, the OSH standards, we have also the procurement regulation and accreditation and quality assurance requirements. And lastly, for the environmental factors, we have examples such as the natural disasters, the climate change, the disaster preparedness. We have also the waste management and the geographic location. Together, these factors or these 6 factors will help the schools anticipate the future challenges before they occur. PESOS analysis, returning to our TVL scenario. Now, PESOS allow us to examine the external environment more deeply. Politically, the government continues to strengthen the Tibet through DepEd and TESDA initiative. Economically, demand for skilled workers is increasing, but the rising equipment costs create financial challenges. Socially, parents increasingly recognize TVL as a pathway towards employment and also entrepreneurship. Technologically, rapid changes require schools to continually update equipment and teachers' competency. Legally, the school must comply with numerous education policies and occupational safety standards. And lastly, for environmental, the workshop safety, waste management, and disaster preparedness remain essential consideration. Now, have you noticed that the PESOS help the school leaders anticipate the future conditions before they affect the school operation? The SWOT and PESOS analysis are complementary strategic management tools. Now, the PESOS helps us understand the external environment, while the SWOT combines both the internal and external analysis to identify the strategic priorities. So that's all. Mabuhay, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you, everyone.